I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness, and I would have stayed up with you all night had I known how to save life.
For most, it's the happiest time of their lives. A baby on the way symbolizes hope, love, and uncertainty in the future. For many couples, a child brings a level of fear, but also an understanding to do what is best for the baby. Though no expecting parent can foresee a problem in the child's first year, many adults just don't prepare for the worst. Hello everybody, I'm Mr. G.
And I'm Dr. Steve Salvatore, welcoming you to the CW11 special, Healthy Beginnings, Understanding Infant Mortality. Now in the next half hour, we're going to examine the causes of infant mortality and the steps that can be taken to help the development of a child. CW11 Fact Finder's Peter Thorne takes a look at this in our first segment.
So young, so vulnerable, and newborn babies in the United States dying at an alarming rate. Infant mortality shockingly high here compared to other nations. Castro's Cuba does a better job at keeping babies alive during their first year.
We don't have the best infant mortality statistics in the world, unfortunately, in the United States. Many countries in Europe and Asia have better statistics than we do.
For every 1,000 babies born alive in the U.S., almost 7 die within the first year. And for black babies, the numbers almost double. What's worse, after dropping for decades, infant mortality is slowly on the rise. 30,000 newborns dying every year.
Infant mortality is a problem that affects everyone in this country.
A painful problem that cut right to the heart of this couple from our area. They don't need to hear statistics to understand the agony of infant mortality because it happened to them.
Your first reaction is you can't get out of bed. It's completely devastating to lose a child. It is such unbearable pain. It's just so devastating, and it's extremely depressing, and it's very sad. And every day and every hour we think of her, and it doesn't go away, and she's always with us. And it changes your life. She was our baby girl, and we had hopes and dreams, and she didn't get her chance to live.
A 3-year-old pedaling furiously around the house, mom and dad making dinner in the kitchen. They might look like the perfect picture of a happy family, but beneath the smiles, a suffering that won't end. They had to bury their baby daughter, Rebecca. She wasn't even 10 days old.
When you tell people statistically that 1 in 141 babies die in the U.S., the people we've said are you kidding me? People are just incredibly surprised. They almost don't believe it. Even, harder is, going to a funeral and putting in a 22-inch coffin in the ground, which is an unbearable pain. I mean, as a kid from Queens who could absorb a lot of pain, it's more pain than I could have handled.
Rebecca tragically misdiagnosed as having a common cold. Her worried parents sent home from the hospital, told they were overreacting. They weren't. Mother and father knew best. Rebecca actually had a serious viral infection, one she likely picked up in the hospital shortly after she was born, an infection that did not have to be fatal. If only she had been able to see the right kind of emergency room doctor that frantic night in New Jersey.
When Rebecca was home after being in the NICU for 5 days, she seemed to have difficulty breathing.
I mean, this was the sound. It was like a...
As soon as we saw the symptoms, we rushed her to the emergency room. My husband and I were both pleading. I was saying it's not a common cold. It's mucus pouring out of her nose. It's not normal. And we basically, we were blown off as, it's just a common cold. You guys are being neurotic.
The doctor, her quote was, I've been a doctor for 25 years, and I know a common cold when I see one. About 18 hours later, to be exact, our daughter wakes up, at 5:30 in the morning, starts to cry. My wife walks in and, starts to see, immediately sees some blood coming out of her nose, and we call up 911. I take our daughter, and she starts to turn white. So I started administering CPR. Giving your daughter mouth to mouth is something, we really don't wish on anyone.
Turning their anguish into action, Andrew and Phyllis founded the Our Baby Foundation, their goal to improve medical care for infants and help other newborns get their chance at life. One of the main things they're pushing for, requiring hospital emergency rooms to be staffed with neonatal pediatric doctors, PEDs for short. Different from a regular pediatrician, PEDs are schooled in treating illnesses that emerge in the first days to the first year of life. They won't be the first to tell you, but not every hospital has PEDS on staff in the ER around the clock. Administrators believe it's often not cost-effective. Unless you know this in advance, you risk bringing your sick baby to an ER that can't offer you the best care possible. ERs without such specialized baby doctors usually make arrangements with other hospitals to help out in emergencies. But fact finders discovered in some cases that means parents get bounced from the hospital where they showed up to one that can actually help them. We found in our area that can mean a scary ambulance trip with a baby clinging to life for 5 minutes or up to half an hour. Since hospitals are not one-stop shops when it comes to your baby's health, to avoid a potential tragedy, before your baby gets sick, you have to ask your local emergency room if they have these special baby doctors called PEDS on staff 24/7. In any case, doctors we spoke with told fact finders no hospital should ever ignore a parent's legitimate concerns and send them back out the door with a sick child, like what happened with Phyllis and Andrew. Lawmakers are taking action.
But right now, we have a commission in New Jersey on rationalizing healthcare resources appointed by the governor a few months ago. It's meeting now.
New York Senator Hillary Clinton is working on legislation to provide better health care to all American children, including newborns.
We have a higher infant mortality rate than many of our competitors around the world, and I know we can do better. It's way past time that our country provide a quality, affordable health care for every child in our country.
As for Phyllis, after all this agony, she's pregnant again. And this couple hoping that by keeping the memory of their daughter Rebecca alive, they can help keep other babies alive too.
There is no doubt that hospitals and their doctors do the very best for their patients. But the baby's first responder should be the parents, and the knowledge of the care system in your area can mean the difference in saving your child's life. Please stay with us.
Coming up, what are the causes of infant mortality and is it preventable? For more information on the Our Baby Foundation and their upcoming event on the 15th, visit ourbabyfoundation.org.